Multiple safes broken into, drawers ripped open, closets ransacked, boxes of...
What the feds just uncovered in Floyd Mayweather's house is terrifying. They going after Floyd Mayweather's bag. Remember the brother that walked around with $100 million check in his bag, said he ain't even got to cash it? Well, they on his line.
I think it got to right now because the money gone. So the money's really gone.
Shocking report has sent shockwaves across the internet after alleging that the FBI uncovered what is being described as a massive $420 million operation tied to Floyd Money Mayweather. According to the claim, federal agents allegedly searched his Las Vegas home and reportedly discovered signs of serious financial misconduct, including unusual cash transfers, suspicious investment activity, and accounts believed to be connected overseas. If accurate, these allegations now place intense scrutiny on the carefully polished image Mayweather built after stepping away from boxing. While the claims alone were enough to ignite widespread online discussion, the situation truly exploded when Stephen ASmith, one of ESPN's most recognizable voices, responded publicly. He reportedly held nothing back, delivering a fiery and direct reaction that felt raw, unfiltered, and perfectly aligned with what many critics had already been saying openly about Floyd Mayweather.
A couple toys. They call this the $1 million garage.
I know we're on television, Floyd, but I think it's necessary for me to say, damn.
Well, we are on ESPN. These are sports cars. It's a sports network. This car costs $3.2 million. This Bugatti right here costs $1.6 million. You ain't seen these toys.
I haven't seen these?
No.
What? Floyd, this is 7 cars, man. Silver, platinum, Miami, black LA, white Vegas.
Yeah, in New York, I got my driving.
Federal authorities were allegedly observed carrying out an inspection at Floyd Mayweather Las Vegas mansion, an opulent residence that immediately captured nationwide attention. Soon after, further reports suggested the visit was linked to a broader inquiry involving a complicated financial network. The alleged scheme reportedly featured shell businesses, crypto-related laundering activity, and deceptive investment operations, with claims indicating individuals close to Mayweather may be involved. These allegations intensified online speculation, as the Federal Bureau of Investigation has yet to officially verify or confirm any of the reported details.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So check it out. This morning, I was walking through Beverly Hills, and I passed by Floyd Mayweather's $30 million mansion. It's over 15,000 square feet with 6 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms, resort-style backyard.
Sources said to be familiar with the probe claim investigators left with a large collection of possible evidence. The reported materials allegedly included several electronic devices, piles of financial documents, files tied to offshore accounts, and even encrypted transaction records. Those same sources suggest agents from the Federal Bureau of Investigation may now be examining activity involving up to $420 million allegedly linked to suspected fraudulent operations.
Into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me.
For years, Floyd Mayweather has carefully built the money team image, surrounded by private jets, luxury cars like Bugattis, massive diamond chains, and non-stop displays of cash and excess. Now, according to emerging reports, federal investigators are questioning whether a portion of that wealth was created or sustained through unlawful activity. The situation becomes even more troubling with claims that certain records suggest Mayweather either knowingly financed questionable ventures or permitted his name and reputation to be used in promoting investment schemes that allegedly exploited thousands of people, especially across international markets.
How much is it?
$1.8 million.
$1.8 million watch.
$1.8 million, dude?
You're the first to see it.
That's insane.
That 1-8 is high. 18 life.
That happy birthday, champ. That's how we doing.
1 point. That is sick, dude.
But you gotta show him what he's saying.
Money green.
No,
Hold on. This watch was made specifically for the champ, Floyd Money Mayweather. 1 of 1 piece.
One of one.
Money team.
Can we see it on him?
Yes, sir.
That 1 of 1.
$1.8 million.
It's a 1 of 1. I love that.
Stephen A. Smith isn't commenting on Floyd Mayweather from the outside looking in, because he has spent real time inside Floyd's world and witnessed the lifestyle firsthand, from the massive mansions to the luxury cars and even the private jet. He understands the scale of Mayweather's financial rise and how far his wealth expanded over the years. And because Smith personally watched Floyd's boxing journey unfold with elite focus, discipline, and dominance in the ring, he views the money conversation through a different lens. That experience gives his perspective added weight, shaping how he talks about the empire Mayweather built and the business decisions and financial choices that ultimately defined its growth.
Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Yeah.
He would go into a ring knowing he had no shot at knocking somebody out because his hands were hurt too much, and literally walked in the ring and said, I'm going to embarrass you and humiliate you by showing the world you can't hit me.
What adds even more weight to Stephen A. Smith's forceful reaction is that he has personally been inside Floyd Mayweather's mansion before. In past interviews and podcast discussions, Smith has described Floyd's home as far more than a lavish residence, instead presenting it as a symbol of achievement, representing what an individual can build through talent, non-stop effort, and sharp self-marketing.
Why? Talk to me about why you make the decision to drive different colored cars in respective cities.
Spoiled brat.
Oh, just being a brat?
Just being a brat.
The 7 cars that you showed me
Yes.
are in excess of $15 to $20 million.
Let me see what's the number. We go 3
And you don't drive them.
It's close to 15 million. You're right. It's close to 15 million.
The story began to change once Floyd Mayweather entered the next stage of his career through exhibition bouts. After officially stepping away from professional competition, he still returned to the ring, not to enhance his legacy, but seemingly to keep the money flowing. The fight most critics point to is his matchup with Logan Paul. Stephen A. Smith openly questioned that decision, arguing the bout offered little in terms of genuine competition, since Paul, despite transitioning into boxing, was never viewed as a serious threat. For a fighter who once dominated the sport, accepting that matchup felt less like a declaration of greatness and more like a calculated business deal.
Boxers, if not the greatest boxer in history. He's absolutely sensational. But he retired years ago, and for me personally, I know these exhibition matches are entertaining. I like the one with Conor McGregor, not so much the one with Logan Paul. Looking at these exhibitions and all of that stuff, that little melee and stuff don't matter to me. As far as I'm concerned, it could have potentially been orchestrated. I don't know. But I do know not just anybody should be allowed to be in the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather.
Absolutely.
When Floyd Mayweather was confronted about Logan Paul claiming he still hadn't been paid, the issue surfaced during Mayweather's appearance on the Pivot podcast. Rather than responding directly, Mayweather appeared to sidestep the question, saying he supports YouTube creators and suggesting the situation was being exaggerated. He framed the issue as a simple delay, explaining that payments don't always arrive instantly and sometimes take time to process. However, many listeners felt his explanation came across as evasive, as if he was minimizing the concern instead of clearly stating whether any outstanding money was still owed or not.
Logan Paul, he said you owe him some bread. How you feel about someone making those type of accusations?
That comes with the territory.
Right.
And you got to realize, when you used to getting, to them, that's real money. And I like YouTube because I don't mind getting a YouTube check.
Sure, we getting a YouTube check.
Right.
This is going to be a big YouTube check.
Yeah, so, the money is not coming fast enough. That's why when they say money on the back end, as far as pay-per-view, it take a while, And He shouldn't trip. If he feel like he done great numbers and we done record-breaking numbers, then I understand. Nothing comes right away. Just like I'm still collecting checks from fights 7 or 8 years ago. I'm still collecting checks. Why? Because I made smart moves and I'm my own boss. So they hate when the tables turn.
Right.
You know, look how many years they've been owing us money. But we don't never trip. So now when the tables turn, they say, oh, you owe us something. Be happy with the biggest payday you ever got in your life.
New reports are now raising serious questions about Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s claim that he personally purchased a $42 million real estate portfolio made up of 62 rental apartment buildings in Upper Manhattan. Although Mayweather has repeatedly stated in interviews and across social media that he owns the properties outright with no partners involved, investigators suggest the situation may be far more complex. In one Instagram video, Mayweather confidently displayed footage of several apartment buildings while declaring, "All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners." However, according to property records reviewed by Business Insider, the official ownership listings for those buildings reportedly show no change, directly contradicting his public statements and fueling further skepticism.
Guess what? You can do the same.
All right. Well, now we're trying to figure out what happened, right, with Business Insider. So according to another update, he did ink a $402 million deal for a Black Spruce portfolio. When he said that it was all his and no one invested, he meant no one was funding his part of the investment but him. And so I think this is something where maybe he owns a piece of this or shares in it, but it hasn't changed hands because the majority owner is still the same owner that it was before. I'm trying to understand what happened with this, but I know there's a story that's circulating, so just putting it out there. Whew, it's a tough one. I'm trying to understand as a real estate person myself, what exactly he is communicating when he's saying that he owns this, because they're trying to make it seem like he doesn't, but what it seems like is that he owns shares of these.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. recently responded to mounting speculation, suggesting that his reported $42 million real estate acquisition might be linked to financial trouble. He pushed back firmly, insisting that the purchase was entirely his and that he personally acquired 62 Manhattan buildings without assistance from anyone else. Mayweather stressed that the funding came exclusively from his own resources, emphasizing that no partners or external parties were involved in the transaction and that the deal was completed solely with his personal money.
Yes, Floyd Mayweather has reportedly acquired 62 buildings in Upper Manhattan, spending approximately $402 million. This substantial investment was made through his real estate firm, Vada Properties, and is intended to expand his portfolio in New York City real estate market. Mayweather has expressed that this purchase holds significant personal meaning, reflecting his humble beginnings and desire to provide affordable housing options. He stated, "Growing up, I used to dream about owning just one home by myself. When you work hard, you can achieve anything. However, it's important to note that while Mayweather has announced this acquisition, some reports suggest that property records do not yet confirm a transfer of ownership. Experts speculate that he may have acquired a minority stake with options for future expansion rather than full ownership of all 62 buildings outright. In summary, Floyd Mayweather has publicly claimed to purchase 62 buildings in Upper Manhattan for $402 million, aiming to enhance affordable housing in the area. While these claims have been widely reported, the exact details and confirmation of ownership are still subject to verification. So even ChatGPT is saying like that's not official. Whether Mayweather is saying it or not, ChatGPT is saying it's not official. That deal has not gone through.
However, according to property records examined by Business Insider, the official ownership of the buildings has not changed, indicating that Floyd Mayweather Jr. may have acquired only a partial stake, possibly with the option to expand his ownership later. This gap between his public claims and the records has fueled skepticism about the accuracy of his statements, raising questions over whether he was misinformed or intentionally withheld details regarding the transaction. Mayweather, widely known as one of boxing's top earners, built his fortune through an undefeated career in the ring coupled with strategic self-promotion and branding.
Floyd Money Mayweather up until recently didn't have any money, so Floyd is the highest earning athlete in his career, making over $1.1 billion. And after making a killing, he ended up retiring in 2017. However, he dug himself into a hole after making super lavish purchases like this LA mansion. It was so bad that he actually owed $22.2 million to the IRS, which made him have to come out of retirement to pay that back. Like and follow for more.
Stephen A. Smith has repeatedly expressed concern over Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s exhibition fights following his retirement. While he acknowledged that the bout against Conor McGregor was reasonable given McGregor's combat sports experience, Smith has criticized Mayweather's contests against less challenging opponents. He contends that taking part in these fights primarily for financial gain risks undermining the legacy that Mayweather spent years building in professional boxing.
Gotti III having any real kind of boxing background. I did not see the fight, although I heard he lost every round and Floyd Money Mayweather was whipping him pretty good. I was not there. I did not see it. I do not know. Here's what I do know, which is where my disappointment comes from. When you are as great as Floyd Money Mayweather, everybody doesn't deserve to be in your space. I know you like to make money. You're never going to stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop. You want to get Conor McGregor in the ring for an exhibition match? All right, that's fine. You know, Conor sold that. It was great marketing. He's not a boxer, but hey, he was a knockout artist in the UFC. I get it. John Gotti III, I don't know anything about him. I'm not trying to disrespect him. And yes, I'm being smart. I'm not trying to disrespect the grandson of a mobster. Fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is this. When you're great, when you're elite, not just anybody deserves to be in your pristine space. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about on the street or anything like that. Boxing is your thing.
In a candid interview, Stephen A. Smith directly questioned Floyd Mayweather Jr. about his priorities, asking whether preserving his legacy mattered more than earning money. Mayweather's responses, which emphasized his business acumen and talent for generating revenue, left Smith and many others with the impression that his focus had shifted from protecting his boxing achievements to prioritizing financial gain.
You made money. You're going to make a hell of a lot more money.
But the main thing is I made smart investments and I still make millions every month.
Do you care about your boxing legacy?
More than what?
Well, we ain't gonna say more than money. We know better. We're not gonna say more than money. We know better.
More than my family? No. So what's more important? My children. Because when I make this money, you know what? I put my children and my family in a position that they are entrepreneurs. They are bosses. I don't want my kids to have to answer to nobody. So I will take the long road. I will take the bumps and the bruises for them, but for my loved ones.
But Fear, it's important to point this out about you. You're not just that way when it comes to your family and your children. You're that way with professional athletes. I know NBA players that have relationships with you. Professional football players that have relationships with you, etc. And the same thing that you just said that you preach to your children and your family, you've been preaching to them. That seems to be a personal mission of yours. Why?
It's about giving back. You know, I don't have to go on record and talk about the things that I do. I don't have to go on record.
In a candid interview, Stephen A. Smith directly questioned Floyd Mayweather Jr. about his priorities, asking whether preserving his legacy mattered more than earning money. Mayweather's responses, which emphasized his business acumen and talent for generating revenue, left Smith and many others with the impression that his focus had shifted from protecting his boxing achievements to prioritizing financial gain.
No, Floyd's not going to do MMA, but he is going to box again. He's enjoying this attention. It's been very smart what he did. I think it surprised him. I think he was just going out to have a little bit of fun. I don't think he realized he could get 4 and 5 weeks of headlines out of this, but he does need to box again, for sure. I mean, you call it breaking news, but I will tell you unequivocally right now, Floyd Mayweather does and is planning to box one more time.
And the motivation behind getting into a ring again to box when he said he's retired, why? Why do it?
Floyd's broke. You got to understand, the only thing more embellished than Floyd Mayweather's pay-per-view numbers is Floyd Mayweather's net worth, and he made a lot of money. But remember this, it does not matter what you made, it matters what you kept, and he is a dum-dum.
So anyone, Floyd's made $1 billion. Floyd has gotten $300 million for Pacquiao, $300 million for McGregor. That might be true, but that money does not exist anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Mike Tyson, he did real well too. Evander Holyfield, again, it's not what you made. And don't forget, boxing and MMA math, whatever that number is, you get 30% of. So 30% of $1 billion, he still did really well, but not when you're spending money like that. I mean, that's just the way it works. We've seen a progression of these guys, one after the next, that all end up the same way. And that's broke, and they're just not smart with their money. And, I mean, that's all it comes down to. I'm not even trying to bag on Floyd. Look, he's just not a very bright guy. He's surrounded with even less bright guys. This is the way it works when you're a boxer and you go spend that kind of money. If you ever buy things that cost money to own, you're going to be...
During an interview with Stephen A. Smith, Floyd Mayweather Jr. was asked whether his legacy or his earnings came first. True to his money persona, he revealed that he has earned over $800 million throughout his career, while emphasizing that his primary focus has always been on growing and protecting his fortune.
I've already, in the sport of boxing, I've already made somewhere upwards of $800 million.
You made money. You're gonna make a hell of a lot more money.
But the main thing is, I made smart investments, and I still make millions every month.
Do you care about your boxing legacy?
More than what?
Well, we ain't gonna say more than money. We know better. We're not gonna say more than money. We know better.
More than my family? No. So what's more important? My children. Because when I make this money, you know what? I put my children and my family in a position that they are entrepreneurs. They are bosses.
Where do you stand? Do Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s exhibition bouts enhance his legacy, or do they diminish it? For a retired champion, is focusing on massive paydays over genuine competition justifiable? Share your thoughts and reactions in the comments section below.